Veerasithi Vinayagam. I am from Department of Human Excellence. Now I am going to talk about the importance of human excellence education. India is a country with multiple resources like national, economics and spiritual resources. It is a land of enormous heritage, rich tradition, ocean of values, commendable culture, good civilization, but we are unaware of these things. The real strength of a country has in the level of awareness and awakening of citizens towards certain fundamental values that is called holistic values. According to J. Krishnamurthy, the present day education system imported today is not holistic. It concentrates on the intellectual segment and fails to give importance of personal, emotional and mental segments of students. It provides a chance to increase over knowledge level, but fails to refine the heart. What is human excellence? Human excellence is nothing but expanding your personality, and it is an ultimate divinity to core competence of human being. Hence, the human excellence assures a pleasant and blissful life. It provides better chance to a thought to transform himself to be a noble man. Every coin has two sides. Likewise, every human being has two sides. The known side is due to academic education. The unknown side is refined by human excellence education. Every individual is potentially divine. That divinity can be exposed only by human excellence education. Any system of education without human excellence education is incomplete. Finally, the holistic education of human excellence is nothing but the exposure and trainings that would provide the youth immense power to achieve the life goal. The origin of human excellence education, to keep within mind to build a good society and nation, the chairman of our college, Arutselvar Dr. N. Mahalingam, says that if a student is to be endowed with intellect and creativity, he should be inculcated with ethics and culture education in addition to regular syllabus at the educational institutions. The president of our college, Dr. P.K. Krishnaraj Vanavarayar, with great effort introduced ethics and culture in our college curriculum with the objective of character building. With the blessings of Sri Swami Ranganathanandji, president of Sri Ramakrishna Myth, ethics and culture was introduced for 6 semesters at the undergraduate degree courses when the college became autonomous in 1987. University Grants Commission commended the ethics and culture course as NGM model. In 2006, ethics and culture was rechristened as human excellence education. So we understand the need of the hour to implement such a course in the curriculum aspects, because over the past decades, since the inception of our modern school and collegiate system, educators, parents and students have realized there is an area of insufficiency in the system we have instituted. Although academic subjects may be thoughtfully planned and courses have been structured for the maximal suitability and benefit of our youth for career purpose, the topic of personal behavior and attitudes hasn't been given due importance or emphasis in the educational curriculum. The assumption has been that children imbibe all the values and ethics they need from their home life, and that's not the purview of the educational system to discuss all this at all, especially since it was felt that such discussion may lead us into controversies among various communities. But our Indian culture and moral values were bestowed by our ancestors like Patanjali, Vivekananda, Bharatiyar and Vedatri Maharishi. In this chapter, we discuss this subject and relevance and need of bringing these values into educational curriculum. The evidence is all around us that the lack of such education results in selfishness and an uncaring attitude toward one's fellow men. At worst, results in violence, exploitation and utter disregard for life that no society can afford, or it will forfeit its prosperity and peace and be liable to descend into anarchy or fascism. Our wonderful country, simultaneously blessed and burdened with the extreme density of population and diversity of communal and religious sentiments, can only survive with majority that is mentally and physically healthy, tolerant and liberal in outlook, as only such citizen will be able to care for and work for the prosperity of all. Every one of us in a valuable part of the society, the peace that an individual realizes and enjoys in his heart is the basis for the overall peace of the society. For the sake of the society at large, every individual has to subject himself to certain responsibilities and duties. Since the action of an individual is bound to affect every other individual of the society, such action has to be confined by self-evolved order and discipline. When one expects others to do certain things and avoid doing certain other things, he must necessarily subject himself to the same set of do's and don'ts. In other words, these become the normative values followed by the whole society. The cultural level of the society is determined by the set of values that each individual respects and retains as the standard of goodness. Values such as responsibility, integrity, and commitment to a just and humanitarian cause are considered old-fashioned by some. This may be old value, but they are certainly not absolute. These values have the same meaning in New York as in India or Beijing. They are universal. We don't know of any other culture in history which don't respect the values. A society becomes good or bad based on the ethical values of individual. Ethical values give society its strength. To study law and yet have lawlessly, to study civics and remain without social sense, to study the science and fail to imbibe a scientific outlook and temper. These are a travesty of education. Such an education doesn't impart dynamism to ideas. It doesn't result in force of character, richness of personality, and efficiency in life and action. Just as physical strength and efficiency are the products of assimilated nutrients, one's personality is the product of assimilation of character molding ideas. If food is not prepared in such a way as to be digestible, it becomes a poison and inimical to the body. Similarly, knowledge that is consumed without the ingredients of ethics becomes poisonous and inimical to oneself and society. Vanity, cunning, egotism, miscellaneous, anger and greed are the poisonous result of such impure knowledge. Swami Vivekananda said, education is not the amount of information that put in your brain and runs reared there, undigested all your life. We must have character building, man-making assimilation of ideas. If you have assimilated 5 ideas and made them your life and character, you have more education than any man who has got by heart a whole library. Today's world is full of problems at all levels, not due to nature but mainly due to man's innocence and ignorance and emotional modes. In the absence of a scientific approach, the various shades of religions have divided mankind into us and them, and thus restricted our ability to love others equally and unconditionally. Technology has been used as often for destruction as for construction. In every country, rather than ethical behavior, we see violent activities and pathetic disrespect for others' feelings, comfort and freedom. Even in the family life, there are innumerable problems for each individual, whether poor, affluent, educated or illiterate. Those values that have been and still are respected throughout all ages and places are called eternal values. An example would be the well-known golden rule: do unto others and you would have them do unto you. To the extent that we follow these values, our lives become successful and joyous. An understanding of such values represents the level of our wisdom, and our ability to follow them is the measure of our maturity. An educational system that aims to enrich the level of our understanding and respect for such values and aims to bring us maturity of mind is called value-based education. Only a value-based education can give our youth the hearts of understand the feelings of others, a constant awareness to take care not to hurt or insult the hearts of others by words and actions. Education is a continuous process of refinement, research and realization, and must equip our youth to deal with the pressing problems of today and those which are arise in future. According to H.G. Wells, human history becomes more and more a race between educational and catastrophe. Unless we strengthen the education in its content and relevance and instill essential concern for human welfare, catastrophe cannot be avoided. Almost every one of the men, women now governing and managing national, international governments and institutions once a student in a school, a college, or a university. Their performance today is clearly a reflection of the way they were educated. Had their education given them all that is required, their performance would be as we require. To educate a man in mind, not in morals, is to educate a menace to society. And US President Theodore Roosevelt, and in the same vein, our own Nehruji declared, if all is well with colleges and universities, all is well with the nation. As the perspective of a society keeps changing, and the education it imparts to its youth also needs a continuous updating. The task of a university is the creation of the future based on rational thoughts and civilized modes of appreciation. As the philosopher, mathematician Alfred North Whitehead said, every intellectual revolution which has ever stirred humanity into greatness has been a passionate protest against inert ideas. The education should erase inert ideas with a fresh approach rather than building the students afresh with inert ideas. Look at any college-going teenagers today. Do they really smile? See the heaviness in their faces. It reflects the heaviness in their hearts. By contrast, a young child is so happy, playfully jumping around, then that same child grows and reaches college only to become tense, burdened, and too depressed. Is this the purpose of our education? Is it really a boon or a ban? For the present and future happiness of every youth, the teaching of value is a fundamental obligation of educators. Education is not an enterprise. It is permeated with convictions and hidden measures about priorities and what is important to know and to become. Educators have unparalleled opportunities for the promotion of positive personal and social characters, which will enhance the significance of life and fortify the will to progress. The essence of human excellence is that mankind should live peacefully with satisfaction, happiness, love and cooperation. A good educational system should produce responsible citizens who can create a prosperity society. Ancient sages who lived several hundred years ago understood and divulged the sole purpose of human life. These people have given the meaning to our lives, and they helped us understand how human excellence education can aid us in achieving the ultimate goal of human life. Animal imprints. Darwin's theory of evolution states that human being originated from animals. From then till date, the developments witnessed are products of multiple series of genetic transformation process. Some animal imprints from early ancestors are still being carried forward to modern day humans as genetic inheritance. The bond from those early day humans have developed as a chain as a result of the continuity of the hereditary imprints. The plants alone are capable of preparing the food from material available in nature. All the animals with sensory perception from 2 to 5 survey feeding on the other living creatures, on account of which they commit 4 types of crimes: harming the living beings, ending others' freedom to life, misappropriating the body of living being, depriving of its freedom to exist. Animal imprints are the source of primitive unsocialized behavior, such as harming fellow human of the earth for egoistic self-gains. This can destroy the freedom of others, thereby terming it as a crime by nature. These are characterized by the basic animal imprints inherited by mankind. If man wants to be superior to animals, he should transform his animal characters into humanistic characters. Character's refinement should be imbibed in the human brain with the help of spiritual and human excellence education. The purpose of education. The 3 main purposes of education are: the first one is maintenance of physical health, second one is expanding the horizon of knowledge, third one is enhancing mental capacity. The prevailing education system fulfills the first 2 above of the mentioned purposes, while enhancing mental potential is not taken care of. Anyone can learn and extract good qualities in life if he or she continues to be a student of human excellence, which leads him or she achieving ultimate success in life. One should refine oneself by inculcating virtuous character in everyday life. Dr. S. Radhakrishnan, the former President of India and a great philosopher, states, the purpose of education is not only just to tone up our skill, but also to fine-tune our minds and live in harmony with others. Swami Vivekananda also says, if you think that you have the potential of unlimited force, consciousness, unfailing energy within you, and if you bring out those energies, you can become like me. This shows one's self-confidence and unlimited human excellence. Normal man spends 90% of mental capacity as waste and continues to commit big errors. The trained man in human excellence will never commit any error, says Swami Vivekananda. Development of human excellence comprises 6 major values. They are personal values, family values, professional values, social values, national values, and global values. The clarity in understanding the physical body, life force, and mind by an individual and the result of his action produces success and fame in one's family, work, place, society, nation, and world. Therefore, we have to observe the good concepts of life which help us to moralize our behaviors and transform us as real human beings. For this, one should have purity in mind, because the quality of man depends on the quality of mind. The excellence of man will develop according to quality and texture of human mind. The elevation of man is the same as the enrichment of mind. The level of purity, strength, discipline, and elevation of mind will enhance the human values, prosperity, happiness, and success. Swami Vivekananda says about human excellence, teach yourself. Teach everyone about his real soul. Call upon the sleeping soul and see how it awakes. Power will come and everything that is excellent will come when the sleeping soul is aroused to self-consciousness activity. 4 pillars of human excellence: education and its benefits, physical fitness, mental alertness, emotional stability, and spiritual strength. Practice is applied to improve the physical fitness, helps to increase the oxygen level in the blood and removes laziness and keeps oneself active. Improves functioning of the endocrine system and regulates blood pressure. Strengthens heart, lungs, digestive system, brain, and nerve system. Restore peace in mind and healthy in body. Practice is applied to enhance the mental alertness, helps to increase memory. Improves perspicacity, receptivity, adaptability, creativity, and magnanimity. Improves the personality, insight, and the dexterity of mind. Develops love and compassion in all living beings, realization and submission to enjoy everlasting peace and bliss. Practice is applied to improve the spiritual awakening, helps to provide healthy body, longevity, and youthfulness. Rejuvenates life force, disciplines and mind, the uplifts character to lofty heights. Practice is applied to improve the emotional stability, helps to purify the mind from sinful characters of ego, greed, anger, miscellaneous, immoral sex, inferiority, superiority complex, and vengeance. Transform students' life into a virtuous, peaceful, and blissful one.